But apparently a really famous influencer flew out their friend's abusive ex-boyfriend and did things with them and then lied to their best friend about it up until it was made public. But I don't know who it's about. Hopefully we find out eventually.
Hey, what is up, you guys? It's Dustin, and I am back with another video. And in this video, we're going to be discussing how I believe that Kayla Malec may destroy James Charles. Now, if you're anything like me, you've been waiting for her to speak up with bated breath. I want her to do it on her own time, but I'm also ready for her to speak up. And I really do feel like she's been leaving us little breadcrumbs here and there.
And also, I know y'all are waiting on the receipts, and I promise they're coming. I'm just a couple more days for me to try to comprehend the shit that just happened and celebrate this win. So I know, and it's coming.
And that's what we're going to discuss in this video, because she actually went on her podcast today and alluded to the fact that she may expose James Charles. But before we jump into that, here's a word from today's sponsor, Morgan & Morgan. Imagine this. Suddenly you're in a life-altering car crash and your world is turned upside down. You're dealing with medical bills, lost wages, and pain, while insurance companies lowball you and offer you pennies for your suffering. You try to fight back, but you're up against corporate legal teams with deep pockets. And that's where today's sponsor, Morgan & Morgan, comes in. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm, with over 1,000 attorneys in all 50 states. Here are some things to consider. Morgan & Morgan recovered $12 million in Florida, stated to be 34 times what the insurance offered, and in Philadelphia secured $26 million, which is said to be 40 times the insurance best offer. And for those seriously hurt, they suggest injuries could be worth millions. Morgan & Morgan has modernized the injury law process. You can submit a claim, communicate with the legal team, all from your smartphone. And the fee is absolutely free unless you win. They've recovered over $20 billion for clients. All law firms are not the same. They're the biggest because they win a lot. The process to sign up is very simple. You sign up and Morgan & Morgan takes it from there. Their attorneys equipped with experience and technology will fight for your rights if you become their client, so you can focus on recovery. And they offer support with their team, all accessible right at your fingertips. For those of you that have been hurt, you can visit forthepeople.com/Dustin for more information. Because when you're hurt, remember, Morgan & Morgan is for the people. So before we get into what was said by Kayla on this podcast today, I did want to recap just a little bit, because there's been a lot of different things that have popped up with this story since I made my last video, and I wanted to address Zach Sellers. I always thought that this guy was a grifter. I thought that he was trying to make money. It was very clear. Anybody that comes out with merch immediately off the rip with something, I feel like they're trying to just make money. However, with that said, he was intimately close with Evan. He was his friend, and he was keenly aware of some of the things that were going on. And with that said, just because he's a bad person and just because he got called out doesn't mean that everything that he said is a lie. Bad people can do good things and good people can do bad things. And I just wanted to add that the allegations that have came out against Zach Sellers are very, very scary, and they're similar to what has been accused of James Charles. If you guys want a dedicated video on Zach, let me know down below. Now, Kayla hasn't been the only person commenting on this. Obviously, there have been tons of other people talking about this situation, and her sister Ashley has spoken up several times and made various different comments about this situation, mostly sticking up for her sister, defending her, and rightfully so. Who wouldn't defend their sister after she's had all these heinous things happen to her? And then on top of everything, having James Charles added to this, I can imagine that she would be very upset. I think anybody would be. But Kayla's sister Ashley has been calling James out. She hasn't really turned him loose. And all these videos that I'm about to show you, I'm just going to say they're alleged, obviously, because James Charles likes to sue people. I did also want to point out that Ashley has deleted these. I don't know if this is anticipation for Kayla coming out and sharing her side of things or what, but things definitely seem to be heating up for James. I think he's probably sitting somewhere with his diapers. Do you guys remember a couple years ago when he got exposed and accidentally tweeted out him buying diapers after his BBL? But you guys, check out what Ashley had to say about all this with Kayla, James Charles, and Evan, and all the other people involved.
Y'all just be for real for a second about what we're commenting under people's videos. First off, I'm not using Kayla's situation to try to get me clout in my 10 seconds of fame. The amount of comments I'm getting like that, no, I have a platform, so I'm using it to speak about it. And mind you, every time I would go live, everyone was asking how Kayla was, what was going on with the Kayla situation, wanting to know information about James Charles and Evan Johnson. And I said, I want to talk about my own stuff. But no, I'm the one trying to clout chase, and everyone's saying, oh no, James stuff, like, his video's so true, like, you know, everything, he didn't stutter once. you know that man is a manipulator. And yes, I understand that he could not share the video until he went to jail, right? Obviously. But what I meant is that he had to post it an hour after he went into jail. He couldn't give Kayla a day. No, he had to post it then and there. And he is so good at manipulating because everyone believed him and forgot about when all the minor stuff happened. I just really don't understand. I'm not trying to get my 10 seconds of fame or anything. That is disgusting. I'm just talking about the situation because I want to talk about the situation and the amount of people who have been trying to make me talk about it when I just want to talk about my own stuff going on. That's crazy. Main focus is that Kayla got justice. Evan is locked up. And yeah. So that's really it. I don't know why everyone is attacking me, but justice for Kayla.
But now I feel okay saying the names. James and Evan have been with each other. One of the most gay men who love straight men and like has been admitted to saying that he's desperate, has messaged younger people, and then Evan, who domestically violated DUI, just all above, violated probation. They were hooking up. Allegedly, but even though damn well we know what happened. Everyone knows what happened. It's not really a surprise at this point, or it's like, oh my gosh, this happened. No, honestly, I would have been more surprised if none of this happened, because two of the world's worst people and then coming together and like having a baby of like just terribleness happen and like finally getting justice. Like Evan definitely, like Kayla and Evan, like Kayla's getting justice no matter what, but the fact that James is gonna be coming down with this, I love to see the downfall happen. And you know what, James, I always did not like you. I never did. So Evan, I will see you in court. And James, bye-bye, sister.
Honestly, I would just like to know what James is thinking right now. Where is his mind at? And what is his plan of action if Kayla does come out and expose him? Because he's already painted himself out to be this victorious person in this. I feel like he thinks that he's already won and he can walk away because people have let the situation go. People that follow James anyway, they don't care. They'll let him get away with literally anything. But really, I do think that Kayla has the potential to put James Charles in his place and actually bring him down a rung like Tati was trying to back when all of this shit started with James Charles all of these years ago. And honestly, thinking about it now while I film this video, it's so strange to me that Jeffree Star hasn't said anything. I know that he knows about this situation. There's no way that he can't. Maybe he's just waiting to see what Kayla says, because we all know that Jeffree Star is chomping at the bit right now. But now I want to show you guys what Kayla had to say on her podcast today about this whole entire situation. She was talking about it, but not talking about it at the same time, and she was definitely breadcrumbing us, I feel.
This half gets into what the internet is talking about. And, you know, we have a podcast and we talk about what's going on in the internet world. So let's watch it. My face is on the thumbnail.
And it's also another thing where it's like, you know, if James was to say like, oh, I was manipulated by Evan and he was telling me like one side of the story and I really believed him, it's the fact that even after Kayla's video recently that was posted, the fact that he hasn't come out to be like, I don't support Evan, it's just not sitting right with people. Like, is he still trying to be with Evan? What's the deal? Also, Evan is like 20 years old, so why are we going down this path again for real? I mean, yeah, he's a legal adult, but I mean, really, like, we don't need to be doing this, James. Like, I can't get with this pattern. And to make things worse, people are accusing James of deleting comments under his posts that mention the situation.
It's been all over my.
I think I get it.
Yeah,
I think I
all over my
understand.
For You page. It is being said that
A certain person,
after being told about an abusive man,
after being told.
So, yeah, you know, after being told, hey, this man abused me.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah. I mean, what they're saying, I don't know who the characters in this story are. I'm not looking at any thumbnails. But apparently a really famous influencer flew out their friend's abusive ex-boyfriend and did things with them and then lied to their best friend about it up until it was made public. But I don't know who it's about. Hopefully we find out eventually.
So just to recap, so we're all on the same page here and we have a good understanding of what is going on, okay? James Charles responded. Zach Sellers is now nowhere to be found. I believe that his account is still banned. And now we have had Kayla's sister come out on multiple different occasions, say these things about James. And now we have Kayla in a podcast, her own podcast, alluding to this situation and what happened. I do feel like if this was a situation that she was going to forgive James in or not expose him, she wouldn't allow people to apply pressure and heat to him the way that they are, I definitely feel like she's going to bring the heat, and I do feel like Kayla Malec may actually destroy James Charles. I feel like James Charles is probably somewhere sweating bullets right now because he's terrified of what is going to rain down on him when people find out that he was lying to their fucking faces and manipulating and gaslighting everybody like he always does. But with that said, you guys, of course, I want to know your thoughts and opinions on this situation. I definitely think that Kayla is going to come out and expose James Charles. I just have this gut feeling about it. I think that maybe in the next week or so, James Charles is going to be issuing a statement. But of course, that is just what I think. I want to know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know down below, and don't forget to like this video. If this is your first time here, also please consider subscribing and leave me the sushi emoji down below, because if you know, you know what has been going on with me and Nick the past couple of days is absolutely insane, and we do plan to share more about it very soon. But with that said, you guys, I hope you all have an amazing day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.